Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel where we discuss everything psychology. And today I am going to be discussing a question that was posed by one of my clients in a mental health clinic. What are some examples of this? How does it work? What's the psychology behind it? Why do people do it? So that's exactly what we're going to get into today. Here, Dr. Stephen F Myler gives his insights. Now, I know this might be a little bit shocking to some of you, but I have actually personally witnessed this phenomena of a very large age gap between two people who are married. The question is, the psychology of large age gap love, like say a 20 or 30-year difference between partners. As I said, the man is 60 and the woman is 28. So that's a 32-year difference. So clearly the man is in his adult years, right? He's a fully developed adult. He's a father probably at this point too. And the woman is definitely in her young adult years. She was always kind of taking charge. And at the time I thought, wow, this must be a May-December romance. So the man, being much older, may take on a more parental role with the woman simply because she is younger. In fact, it can work out really well because the woman may respond to the older man's direction with compliance and things can go swimmingly between the two of them. This scenario also opens the door to the possibility of the older man feeling like a father figure to the young woman, especially if she was a firstborn child. Things like that. The only worry for the wife, of course, is one day she might become his nurse. Of course, his premature death leaving her alone with a young family. She awaits the fates like a good Chinese woman. So essentially what I am trying to say here is that the older man may exhibit certain behaviors and traits depending on what stage of psychosexual development he is fixated at. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with a friend. Subscribe to my channel for more psychology videos. And leave your questions down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. The older man may try to guide her and direct her and tell her what to do and how to behave and things like that. Because that is the only way that I knew of that. There was a huge age gap between the partners. Does the woman become more maternal towards the older man as she gets closer to her own senior years? Or does the man become more paternal towards the woman? These are the kinds of things that I would want to examine after 10 more years. Now, this couple wasn't an interracial or intercultural marriage, so it wasn't between a black man and a white woman, or a Japanese man and a Swedish woman. So, from a psychosexual perspective, the older man may actually be fixated at an earlier stage of development than the younger woman. So this means that he may treat her in accordance to whatever need is being satisfied at that particular psychosexual stage. There are so many other factors that can influence this kind of relationship. It could be cultural, it could be societal, it could be based around money or power, or a whole host of other things. They had twins, I believe, when the woman was only 30. So now she is probably in her early 40s, and the kids are probably around 8 years. But, yeah, huge age gap. Some Freudian thoughts for psychodynamics. Transactional analysis of the relationship terms. What might happen after 10 years? Things like that. It was between a man who was from Southern Ireland and a woman who was from China. So still a pretty big difference, right? So if you're ready to get them brain cows milked, let's begin. In fact, I'll give you an example of a couple that I knew from my hometown that had a huge age gap. Now the man was about 60 and the woman was only 28. And yes, they did have children, and something that always stuck with me when I saw these two together was the fact that older man was always the one being led by the woman. Now looking back on it, obviously, I realize that there could be other factors at play here, which is what we're going to talk about today. So let's begin with transactional analysis. Now in transactional analysis, we look at how people parent their partners and how that partner responds to that parenting. Now this isn't necessarily a bad thing. We can also look at this situation through a Freudian lens. For example, if he were fixated at the oral stage, he might try to smother her with affection. Or if he were fixated at the anal stage, he might be a bit controlling and demanding of her. Now that's just a small piece of the pie, but if these two were to stay together for 10 more years, I would want to see how their roles change over time. Incidentally, the couple are still going strong and call themselves partners or a team. They work together for the happiness of the family and the future. So that's a quick breakdown of the psychology of large age gap love.